That's one. Good morning, everyone. I've been out here working as usual. Let me turn off this water. I just gave them fresh water. You know, I'm concerned a little bit about this water because sometimes I smell Clorox in it. And I'm thinking that maybe I should run it at nighttime and let it sit for a couple of hours. That's what I think I'm going to do. Today, it's all about the eggplant and what I do when I find an eggplant, not this one, that is overripe. Here they are. So let's get to it. Let's see how I harvested the eggplant. I'll show you how I harvested it. I just clip it off. And the thing is, when you're out here, they hide from you. They hide from you. And I had one, I knew about it, but I wasn't sure if it was ready, so I left it on here. Let me show you these flowers, because eggplant is a pretty plant, very pretty. And the flowers are purple, aren't they? The fruit is purple and the flowers are purple. So we'll get to harvesting the eggplant. Then I'll show you how I harvest the seeds if they're overripe. Don't throw it out. Harvest your seeds. Then you don't have to buy eggplant seeds anymore. But let me take a look at this plant because I think eggplant is, well, my favorite is the zucchini. I'll show you that in a minute, but let me show you the flowers of the eggplant. So let's look down here. Here's a flower. I need to get you closer. Okay, look at that. That is an eggplant flower. Isn't that beautiful? I think it is. There's a whole bunch of them. Look up here. Here's one, another one. Now I don't want to knock it off because it's hot, it's under stress. And look at this. Even when they're super small and not doing well, because this was being shaded out, they still produce eggplants. I guess I need to take these off. They're hard to get off. They are hard to get off. But I come down here and I see all kind of little things that are growing. So there's another one growing. All right, let me show you. There it is. See that? Isn't it beautiful? Look at these little eggplants. Here's another one. I'm so glad I planted these. I am so glad. So I harvested 3 of them. 3 of them, look at that. And one of them was overripe. So what I did with the one that was overripe was I got the seeds out. Look at this one. Plant your eggplant. Look at this plant. Let's back up. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't that look like something that belongs there? That's, I mean, it blends in with the egg. Actually, it's bigger than the rose bushes because I hedged the rose bushes, but these plants get huge. Last year I didn't have much success, or the year before, with the eggplant, but this year I started them in January, the seeds. I started the seeds in January, and the reason why I did that is because it gets really hot here, and you have to get your fruit before it gets super hot, and that's usually, hey, today, July and August, so I pray we get enough rain to keep these alive, or not keep them alive, to keep the flowers on, because they are pretty. I think they're perennials also, so I'm gonna dig these up and put them in pots and put them in the greenhouse and overwinter them. We'll see what happens. And, you know, this is gonna be my first time with eggplant. It worked with the tomatoes. Look at these tomatoes. I keep on telling you guys, don't prune your stuff, right? Tomatoes everywhere, all over, sprawled all over the place. Don't prune them and don't throw them out at the end of the season. Just collect them up and do what you can. Look at that. I digress, right? We're not supposed to be out here picking tomatoes. We're supposed to be going out here and getting our eggplant. We'll do that in a second, though. We'll harvest those seeds in a second. Let me get these out. One more. There are plenty of them in here. I'll come out here later on in the day and get some more out. I get them when they're blushing because it seems that the critters like to eat them when they're ripe. They don't like unripe. So I think that eggplant, I like this one better though. Zucchini is my favorite plant. Zucchini is dark green and just beautiful. See the difference in the color? That's zucchini. Yep. I think I gotta do zucchini too. Let's see. Yep, there's one right there. Let's get it out before it gets too big. It's right there. Let me see if it pops off. Twist. And there's our zucchini. Flower's still intact. Isn't that something? So let's go inside and talk about the eggplant. That's two. Oh, and three was overdue. So let's go inside. Well, I had an eggplant bake in the Texas sun. So let's see if there's any seeds in here. So I can't get anything else from it. I'm gonna get the seeds. This is what we do with stuff that we can't harvest from. We harvest the seeds. We being me. So let me bring you closer so you can see what I'm doing. See these? These are eggplant seeds. Eggplant is gone. I can't use this. This is the only thing I can use it for is harvesting seeds. This is a part of the nightshade family. Just like tomatoes and peppers. Except, you know, different. The only thing that's about the same is harvesting their seeds. They don't taste the same, but they have some things in common, like that little pustule around the seed. It's not as bad on the eggplant as it is on the tomato. It's like in between the tomato and the pepper. Because as I said, I'm not going to be buying these seeds over and over again. If I can't get the fruit, I'm going to get something from these things. Something. And there's a seed, see? Mature. Look at this thing. I got to go and get the other two before they end up with the same fate. The same fate. Just taking my spoon and getting them out. I'm going to wash them off with a strainer. If that, because they seem like they're more on the pepper side than the tomato side. See that? Let me move all this debris out the way. I'm not going to get them all, but I'll get a lot of them. And there are a lot to be had in this little bitty eggplant. A lot. See that? Just scrape them off. Get them out. It's interesting how expensive seeds are, but how many you get in one fruit. I always wondered why Dollar Tree could sell them for $1, but now I see why. If you're growing this fruit, you can pretty much sell them for almost anything. $1 a seed? Oh, not $1 a seed. Would never say that, Jamaica. That might happen. A penny a seed? I'm not going to do that, though. I'm just doing this for myself. So I don't have to buy it anymore. Now, I know people are going to say, well, you know, it's going to be a hybrid. Oh, I don't mind a hybrid as long as I get fruit. And it's edible. It's not going to kill me. It's food. Food is food to me. I might get a hybrid that's better than the one that, or better than this. Anything's better than this, right? Can't eat this one. So we're just getting the seeds out. Just scrape them off. Best you can. You're not going to get every one, but I'll get a lot of them. I already got a lot of them. Look at that. That's more seeds than I had 5 minutes ago. I'm patient. I might put this, I'll be right back. So I was thinking to myself, how can I get all the seeds out? Wash it. Wash it and they'll fall out. You already got most of them out. Wash it, girl. Wash it in some water. You'll get them out. You'll get a lot more out. Look at this. See that? All of that is seed. Just put it under water and rub it. Then I'll run it through the strainer. A mesh strainer. A mesh strainer. Let me get these right here. Rub those a little bit. Get all my seed out. And, you know, there was a time where I was like, oh, they're not going to be viable. That is not true. A lot of people think that, you know, you grow something and the seeds are not going to be viable. That is mostly not true. You mean things that I've got my seeds from and grew? My okra. and I'm eating that right now. I mean, why spend money on stuff you already have? It's like paying double. Especially if the fruit go bad like this one did. Why? Why just throw it out? Say, oh, it's no good. I'm just going to throw it in the trash. I'm not rich. I'm trying to hold on to every penny I got. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, you gotta economize nowadays because times is tough. That's why we grow our stuff. That's why a lot of us grow our stuff. It's not just, you know, because I want to show you what I'm doing and, you know, the compliments. No, I'm doing this because I don't like the way things look out there. And I don't want to spend $1 million. I'm just exaggerating. I don't want to spend $10 on a watermelon. That is too much for me. So, I mean, in the water department, they might be getting, they cut though. I don't know. I gotta see how much it's truly costing me, but I'm trying to cut as many corners. Look at all these seeds. Look at that. All seeds. Just rub them out. Yeah, the water company's getting their cut, but they're going to get their cut anyway. You got to pay for water no matter what, whether you use one drop or not. As long as you have that water, that spigot, the water is available, whether you use it or not, there's a minimum payment. All right, so let's go. Now, I was fussing about that one time, and I called them. I was like, I wasn't even at home. How are you going to charge me this much money? And they were like, ma'am, we have a minimum. You have to pay just for the service. Wow. Okay, so that one's clear. All is clear and all is well. Look at all these seeds. Look at that. Look at that. Wait till you see what I got. I'm going to hold it up because the pulp is floating. The seeds are going to the bottom. You know what that means, right? If seeds float, they're usually no good. But the ones that are on the bottom, in most cases, with the exception of meringue will float on you. Man, that means it's good seed. If it goes straight to the bottom like a brick, good seed. I was a little upset with myself because I've been looking at this thing for a while. I was like, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. Apparently, it's not going to get any bigger. Started turning brown. Look at that. That Texas sun. That Texas sun is treacherous. All right. So, look at the bottom of this. I'm going to scrape some of this bad stuff off so you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, and these here, let me get this. Put this in here. Just turn it into a distraction, right? Get all the big stuff out. All the pulp seems to float to the top and the bad seed. So we're going to scrape that off in a minute. I'm just washing it with my hand. Move this out of the way. This is a distraction. Right. So I got my hand and I'm washing it. Right. There's pulp here. Pull it out. So the pulp is on the top. And now I'm going to get a strainer. Okay, you see my water's real murky, but that's okay. I just want to get, this might not be the best strainer, but I'll try. I just want to get some of this pulpi from up top and any seed that is floating. I'm just going to take it off and put it to the side. Some of the seed is stuck to the pulp. That's why it's floating. Any seed that's floating, I'm just going to take it out. I'm just cleaning it up a little bit so when I put it on the plate, it doesn't stick. Because this little pulp stuff, see that? Make it stick to the plate. Nope. Get all this out. Mix it up, stir it up, little darling, stir it up. There we go. Getting it off. Getting it off slowly but surely. Can you tell I'm a gardener now? Patience. Stir it again. Wait for the seeds to drop. And get all the rest of the junk up. Stir it again. And okay. I say okay, and then I see something else. I want to get out of there. The seeds are heavier than the pulp. So see, the seed is dragging it down. The seeds are quite big on this little thing. About 3 seeds on here. All right, I got them loose. All right, so now I'm going to take a strainer and I'm going to put it on a plate. Okay, I got it on this thing that you put on top of the pot to stop it from steaming or boiling over. Take my knife, scrape it off, scrape it off. Just spread it out. Flatten it as much as possible. There we go. There we go. Get any seed off my hand. Dry this out. And then we have eggplant seeds. So the purpose of this video is to just, show you all the possibilities with the type of, or with any of the vegetables you grow. You don't want to grow and go through all of this watering and sometimes weeding. You know, I planted densely, so I don't have to weed as much unless I go to that other side. And weeding and checking to see if there's a disease, or if something's wrong with the plant, or if there's bugs that's attacking it. All of that stuff goes with gardening, and it's a labor of love for most of us. Some people have to garden. In other countries, that's how their families eat. They plant a garden, and it's getting that way in the United States, actually. People are planting gardens to feed their family. I'm doing it also to feed myself and my household. I went to the supermarket and I didn't like the prices that I saw. So I'm not gonna say if you have the time, because it doesn't take a lot of time to put something in a pot and water it. Every day, just throw a little bit of water on it, even if it's a couple of zucchini plants. You don't have to plant a lot. Just find the most expensive thing in the store and buy the seed for that and plant it. These used to be super cheap, and now they're not. These used to be not as cheap, but inexpensive. And this is not the biggest. You see my hand? This is not a big eggplant, but it's an eggplant I didn't have to go out there and purchase. It's an eggplant that I just watered the yard that I was going to water anyway. That's my garden. I water that anyway. And I get things like this from just doing the normal stuff. I planted this stuff in a little pot, watered it, and when it got big enough and warm enough out here in early March, late February, I put these out here. I don't buy seedlings because I believe that seedlings are overpriced right now. It doesn't take a lot to grow a seed. If you have house plants and you take care of them, it's same principle. You don't need light to germinate a seed. It germinates in the dark, and once it germinates, you don't have to buy these expensive grow lights. I have some. I finally bought some because I was planting all of that. All of that is from seed. All of my garden is from seed, with the exception of the perennials, trees and the dragon fruit. But anything that is an annual or considered an annual, because most annuals are not annuals. Peppers are not annuals. Tomato plants are not annuals. And I looked it up. Eggplant are not annuals. They're only annuals because we pull them out of the ground and replant. So the thing is, I don't buy seedlings because they're too expensive. And they're I mean, I don't buy seedlings unless it's something that I can't find the seed for, which is rare because I go online to find almost anything, or I ran out of time and my seedlings passed away, or that's the only time I can think about it, when I can't find the seeds, or I ran out of time. So if you're like, now is not a time to, you can still plant some seed actually. In Texas, we're gonna be warm here till December. It's late December, so the only thing we have to worry about is drought and watering the stuff in the Texas sun. But for the people up north, there are still things you can plant that have a quick germination rate and are quick to harvest. One of them is radishes. So find something that you can grow. Excuse me, there's pollen out here. Something that will grow in your region I wouldn't recommend buying seedlings unless you absolutely have to or you want to. You just don't want to go through, you know, putting seeds on a piece of dirt and watering it every day, because that's all it is. I mean, put the seed in the dirt, cover it with a little bit of soil, and water it. Seedlings, the seedlings just pop up, and when they pop up, you get a million of them. So don't plant the whole pack. So there's things that we're doing that they make us think are so hard to do. They make it seem like you have to be a scientist in order to grow a cucumber or a bean plant. Bean plant, that's another thing you can grow. You can still grow beans. Beans will grow just like that. Think it's 45, 60 days you'll get beans, string beans. I haven't had success with long beans. String beans, contender beans. What else did I grow out here? String beans in general will grow fast. Just plant a lot of them. Plant the whole pack, because they, and water them and try to fertilize them. But don't let anyone let you think that planting seed and growing a garden is hard. Yes, it's laborious unless you plant densely like I did. You don't have to weed nothing, because the plants just don't let no. If a weed gets in, it's gonna get shaded out. That's why I did what I did. Another reason why I did that is because it confuses the bug. So if a bug likes corn, they only gonna get a couple of stalks of corn. I pulled all the corn out. Corn didn't do good this year, because you have to plant corn densely. There are some things that you have to plant right next to each other, or you're not gonna get anything. And my corn was missing some teeth. So that was one of the things I had to go to the supermarket and buy 4 ears of corn for $1. That's how much they sell it for here in Texas. So I know our prices are kind of cheap because we're down south. But my corn didn't do good. So things that I can't grow, things that won't grow for me or didn't do well, that's the stuff I buy from the supermarket. Or if I want a watermelon and my watermelons have not ripened yet, I'll go and buy a watermelon. But once my watermelons start ripening, that's a watermelon I didn't have to buy. So some people plant for their families, and that's what they eat. And we all need to start thinking about that. Even if it's one plant, 1 or 2 pepper plants, bell peppers. A lot of people use bell peppers, or tomatoes. 1 or 2 tomatoes plant. You see my tomato plants out there. How many tomatoes I have on there. And those are cherry tomatoes, the expensive ones. The ones that are about that big. Cherry tomatoes are expensive. I have a whole bush trailing across my yard. I don't have to buy tomatoes. I never have to buy tomatoes again. I got freezer full. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. I just hope I inspired you all to at least try to put something in a pot. And because you have a potted plant, even if it gets cold, you just put that bad boy in your house. Put it under, either you can put it in a window or put a light on it. And it doesn't have to be one of those technical, horticulture UV lights. You put a light bulb over it and let it grow. It's not going to die, and you may not do as well as it does out in the sun, but out in the regular sun, unfiltered sun, because in the house is filtered. But it will stay alive if you water it. And then the next year, you just put it outside, and you got a pepper plant that is producing peppers. And when does it get warm in New York? May. You got peppers in May, and you'll have peppers until August, and then you take it back in the house. They say that after about 3 years, the flowering of the plant slows down. It doesn't die. So whoever told you guys, pepper plants, tomato plants, eggplants drop dead after one year, that's not true. That's not true. They die because you stop watering, you stop taking care of them, or you pull them out the ground, or you just let them freeze to death. I've talked enough. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. You all go ahead and plant your stuff. Don't let anybody discourage you or make you afraid to grow anything, or make you think that you can't do it. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Because I planted this stuff by myself, trees included. I think I had help, maybe 1 or 2 trees. That was it. You just have to be patient, and you have to, keep on trying. Everything was not a success. Everything did not grow the first time. Just like my corn. My corn looked like somebody had a couple of times had teeth missing. All I could do is give it to the chickens. The chickens are running over here. They're like, food, food. She made a noise. So I thank you guys for being here. I've talked enough. I hope you all plant your stuff, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, y'all. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video in reference to, planting your own seeds and harvesting your seeds from any of the plants that are overripe. You don't have to just throw them away. They're not a total waste, if not just composting. I thank you guys for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to see more in the future, please subscribe. And of course, like, so I'll show up on your feed, huh? I thank you again. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. You all take care and keep planting. Bye.